Okay, I'll be doing the Lord of the Rings series in a three-part series, starting with the Fellowship of the Ring.
Hey, why didn't you do 3 reviews for the Halo trilogy?
Sorry, John, he only does reviews for things he likes.
That's not true, Tony. I do have an opinion on things I don't like, although I'm less likely to make a video, put the effort of making a video in though. When I finish, I'll tell you what, when I finish the Lord of the Rings, I'll do a video on Halo Anniversary.
Fine, whatever.
Alright, plot in a sentence.
You are kidding, right?
What?
You are going to condense a Tolkienian story into a single sentence.
No, that's just not possible. What I am going to do is condense a movie based on a Tolkienian story into a sentence. To defeat an ancient evil, a group of people set out on a journey to destroy a magical artifact. Oh, was it so hard? I do have to say this is an amazing movie, and really does do its source material justice. The movie started the trend of making Hollywood blockbuster movies based off of video games, cartoons, and books that actually take it seriously instead of just trying to make fun of the source material. I have to say that this is my favorite series, so I might take a little bit of bias on it. When he wrote the story, Lord of the Rings, Tolkien introduced a group of people known as hobbits. They're about half as tall as normal humans, and they're very agriculturally based. And the way they fit into the story, and as much as Tolkien hated people making generalizations about his story, and making metaphors out of his book,
Gondor in America.
No, it's not. But I think he wanted the hobbits to fit into the role of normal people swept up into a world war. They're simple people just trying to get by on their own, in their own way. The story is mainly told in their point of view, and the main antagonist for the story is known as Sauron.
The devil.
He's more like the head demon of Middle-earth. His boss name is Morgoth, I think. That's how you pronounce it. But he's not in the movie, so I won't talk about him. A couple of thousand years before the story starts, Sauron helped craft magic rings of power to help rule the peoples of Middle-earth. And he made one ring to essentially, well, tagline says, rule them all. He had to use so much magic to make this ring that he had to put his life force into it. So if the ring was ever when the ring was cut off his hand, he was pretty much dead. But since the ring wasn't destroyed, he wasn't completely killed.
So if the ring would have been destroyed back then, this whole mess could have been averted.
Yeah, pretty much. And essentially all the evil in the world for the last 3,000 years is directly related to the fact that the hero Isildur didn't destroy the ring when he had the chance.
Jackass.
You never see Sauron directly in these movies. The closest you'll see are the ring wraiths. They had the human rings of power, and Sauron converted them under his own will to serve the One Ring. And there's 9 of them chasing after the hobbits who carry the One Ring, and that's the way they went. And they're on the quest to destroy. The wizards of Middle-earth are more closely described to be angels than what other literature makes their wizards to be. A powerful wizard is known as Saruman. At first, he claims to want to overthrow Sauron, but it's later shown that he's just a servant of him. Gandalf the Grey is another wizard in the world, but he didn't fall to the dark side. He's actually one of the most powerful members of the good guys. In fact, he's kind of the main starter for anything dealing with hobbits. When he mentions another adventure with the hobbits where he nudged Bilbo out of the door.
Yeah, right. He merely grabbed Bilbo by the collar and threw him out of his house.
They claim to be beings of unimaginable power, but they really don't show it off if at all possible.
They sound like politicians.
Or gods.
Whoa! Let's try to avoid any of those arguments, alright? That we deal with is Frodo Baggins. He, through a series of very unlikely events, Frodo inherits the ring from his uncle Bilbo when Bilbo retires to Rivendell. After Gandalf realizes the ring he has is the ancient magic ring of power, he sends Frodo on the journey to destroy it. Samwise Gamgee is another hobbit that we see in this movie. He's kind of forced into the journey when he overhears Frodo and Gandalf talking about what the ring truly is. I have to admit, Sam is one of my favorite characters. He claims just to be Frodo's gardener, but the lengths he goes through for his friend is inspiring. On the way out of the Shire, they run into Merry-Eyed Brandybuck and Peregrine Toop. In this movie, they don't really do anything; just follow along. They play a more important role in the next two movies. They're only admirable in the fact that they're just really good people. On their way to Rivendell, they meet up with the ranger known as Strider. He claims to be a friend of Gandalf, so they let him help them find their way to Rivendell, where Gandalf said that he'd meet up with them. It's at Rivendell where they reveal that Strider is actually Aragorn, and he's a direct descendant and heir of Isildur.
So it is technically his ring.
I think that's how it works, but it's pretty much agreed on that it needs to be destroyed.
Man, I would be pissed. Nobody tells me what to do with my things.
It's evil incarnate.
And I will let you know if I want it destroyed or not.
Whatever. Aragorn is a descendant of the people known as the Númenóreans. They're a race of blessed people who have all the blessings that their gods want to give to them.
He's just blessed because he is a certain race of human.
You mean like the people that one Adolf guy was talking about a while back?
I think he's more like the Merovingians from European legends. Talking about him suddenly got very uncomfortable, so let's talk about Boromir, the other human. Boromir of Gondor, as far as I know, has no magical properties. I could be wrong, but I don't think he has anything special.
He is just a normal person. Where is the fun in that?
He is the son of the steward of Gondor, so he's a lordly descendant, that means anything.
It doesn't.
Tolkien treats poor Boromir better in the books than he did than Jackson did in the movie, I think. In the movie, he really jumps to the dark side very quickly.
Hey, spoilers.
Not hardly. As the only real normal human in the story, it's a shame that he didn't really have a more noble part in the movie. However, I guess they do kind of rectify that later in the second movie. Tolkien doesn't really seem to like humans in general. Although elves, however, ooh, buddy, he love elves. They are so good that they literally glow in the dark. Even the description of the elves calls them literally immortal, wisest, and kindest of all the peoples. The elf that's in the Fellowship is called Legolas Greenleaf. He, as an elf, has heightened senses of hearing and sight, so he serves to be the archer of the group. He's not exactly one of the glowy elves that we see in another group, but he's a bit of a racist bastard, especially dealing with the dwarves, Gunley included.
Now we are talking. He is a badass, axe-wielding bearded battle dwarf.
I have to admit, personally, Gimli is one of my favorite members of the fighting version of the Fellowship. He charges headlong straight into battle with his axe going. In fact, when it was agreed on to destroy the ring, he whipped out his axe and smashed it. Didn't fare well for his axe, but it's still badass that he did that. And to be fair to Legolas, Gimli's a bit of a racist bastard also, declaring that he'll be dead before he sees the ring in the hands of an elf. But before the end of the story, they're both very good friends. I wish I could say more about the dwarves, but they really don't go into anything about them. And if Gimli is a very good representation of his people, I really can't wait for The Hobbit next year.
I hope they have enough main characters.
No shit. I barely even mentioned Elrond of Rivendell, Galadriel of Lothlorien, and Bilbo Baggins, the Hobbit, who are important characters, extremely important characters to the group. That is one of the pros to the author and the movie. There is a huge, deep storyline to every single little thing in there. But that's also one of the cons. It's so freaking deep and rich, and everything has something attached to it that it's a bit overwhelming if you try to learn it all. Some of the cons to the movie, Boromir really is a bit bastardized because they don't have the time in the movie to develop his character as well as they could. So it looks like, ooh, I'm a hero. Ooh, I'm going to kill you. And then Merry and Pippin, the hobbits, they lose all purpose whatsoever in the movie. And that's about all I can say that's bad about the movie. It's just, other than that, it's a perfect movie, perfect score, 5 out of 5. Thanks for watching.